Angela reading my book.
I'm reading Georgie's book. Hi, Georgie. I'm mad at you because I might not sleep on this plane.
Well, I was closing all the stuff up in the interior. We're sitting on one of the chairs. That's what I was like,
And it had my name.
sounds like, I know somebody's going to be happy in a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, because I mentioned this morning that he was trying to see if Mr. House, if anybody saw it.
I'm sorry, I did not see that. I'm sorry.
It's like follow the lost items and you'll find it. Sorry.
Well, of all the people here, 7.25.
First, I gotta look at that. Before I get to that, though, I gotta look to the masthead so I can see Armin's name.
Yes, George. If I buy your book, will you sign it for me?
Absolutely.
Can I get it like through Amazon or something?
Get it through my website because that's the only way you'll get me to sign it.
Oh.
I'll give you my card.
The knife.
There's no ranking. It's binary. You're out. You're in.
Gosh, champagne. It's what time is it? 7 o'clock in the morning or something?
It's
Mimosas.
Have you heard that country song? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Actually, you're right.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
What time is it in the States?
Cross so many time zones that we can just choose which one we want to be in.
This is very nice.
I think we need to be in like Korea.
We should be sleeping right now anyway.
I called home this morning at 3 a.m.
Did someone answer?
Yes, and in one room. I was impressed.
So we deal with he spoke about his Uncle Arnold Home Depot is a retailer in a specific distribution channel. We can consolidate so much. Just so
All right, well, I'll catch Allison this week. Okay. Yeah, but don't forget, I'll be happy.
Oh, man, that was no fair.
All right. Now we've got to get our pilot.
Interview seasoned bush pilots. They were like, yeah, he'll come back. Yeah, he'll straighten it out.
Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, we're great.
Hello.
Thank you for this wonderful experience.
How wonderful is it?
Yeah, really.
So, this is an unusual aircraft. I've not been on one like this.
It's a 757.
Yeah, it's
United flies them,
full on Delta, United, American. I mean, they got a ton, same as this.
So long. I don't remember the 757s being long and narrow like this.
They're all the
You should see a 300. It's even like, it looks like a pencil with wings.
Here goes this 300.
You live in North Hollywood, California?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to live there. I used to live right off Vineland and Van Owen
I'm
by Burbank Airport. Leanna Avenue.
Coldwater in Magnolia.
Yeah, cool. Cool. How is the old neighborhood?
It's good.
Really?
Yeah. How long has it been since you've been there?
Oh, God.
Been there.
Well, I had lived there 20 years, but I visited about a couple of years ago. I always like to stop in those little Mexican cantinas for the tacos. Oh, it's so good. Lancashire and Victory.
Yeah,
Great place to get tacos.
I know. There's so many. They look like little dives.
Yes.
And they got great
yes,
food.
Yes.
What are you guys doing here?
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
We're learning about what the military does. And we've gotten a real education since we've been here.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you like a consulting firm? Or?
Well, you know, these are all people in different areas of business that, you know, they're hoping that we will come out of this and write about it or talk about it, you know, what the military's doing.
Are you with the media?
I'm not with the media, but I have written a book, so I get a lot of media attention. Hello.
It's JCOC.
JCOC is the joint. That's early in the morning. The Joint Civilian Orientation Rehabilitation Conference. We're here to learn about what you guys do in the military. Well, you're not. You're a civilian? Well, you don't belong on this plane.
Yes, I do. Right now, this is my airplane to work.
Okay.
This is my job. My retirement job.
Good. You're in the military. No, it's.
I was in the military one. Many years ago.
Well, you never seem to get away, can you?
Diverse place.
What's this going to go on? Fox News?
No, this is just my own personal.
Where you live now?
That's paid.
What are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine after we got out from the fire drill.
Oh, it was not amazing. It was so funny because I just passed your room. I was just leaving and that thing really made me move. And
Well, I opened my window and all the guys were out there taking the luggage. I said, "What's this alarm?" And they said, "You need to evacuate immediately." I thought it was a terrorist attack.
Were you in 538?
yeah.
I must have just left ahead of you then.
I wasn't in 538. I was in 538.
Well, you know why? 'Cause she was in the building. She was my neighbor. She was right next to me.
I was in 538.
I was in 538.
Second floor.
We had just, I'd already taken my luggage down and everything, and the alarm just went off.
I missed all of it by a few minutes.
Yeah, me.
I passed by here just a little while ago and you were doing the same thing. You checking your emails?
Just trying to get caught up now that I've connected.
You could connect. I haven't connected yet. That may be a good thing.
Summer days, in return for that piece of my business.
Headphones. Food.
Hi, Jordan.
But I don't know Cambridge very well.
I'm hoping I'm getting everybody.
Yeah, we've been putting some of the little subtleties in there, little touches.
Are you filming?
Yeah?
Camera again.
Hello there, Georgia. You're always on my mind.
Can't help it be if I'm always in your face, right?
Oh, that's okay too.
There are worse places to be in than yours, right?
Guess what? Records were like the Army normally, again, if you're unable to schedule things, coordinate together.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing terrific, but it's only like 8 o'clock. Give me a couple hours.
Wonderful information, but death by PowerPoint is not my idea.
How you doing?
Sir, you do this stuff for a living. You should.
I try to keep it away from death.
And the Air Force is so darn good at PowerPoint, so. God love them. They are the masters when it comes to Microsoft PowerPoint.
Bye.
Bye, we'll
Thank
see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks for flying.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bye.
I love it. I want to go.
F-16A. Very nice.
All right. Good stuff.
So here we are in England.
Ready?
Hi.
It's always crazy with the step.
I'd shake your hand, but I've got some.
That's okay. Have fun. Mike Callis. Hey, how you doing? You're the one I want to talk to. You're the Kodak girl.
Yes, I am.
Yes, the Sun Lady Kodak girl. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Hi. Morning. How are you? Are you warmed up? Rocky was wondering for you.
Feels good.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Hi. Good morning, sir. Morning. How are you?
what base is this?
Your bio stands out, you understand?
Yeah, I didn't even tell the whole story. Hi.
Good morning, man. Welcome to Milton.
Thank you. Hi. Well, you know what?
There we go, ma'am. How are you?
Hi.
Shaking the other hand. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you.
Another day in paradise. Another day in paradise.
About some tape. Great thing.
Hello. I'm filming you while you're filming me.
Oh, no. How you doing?
Good.
I get what kinds of causes would you get money?
Look, they got
We had a good trip.
Yeah.
I am so glad that we did that Bradley thing.
Yeah, me too.
RAF Mildenhall. Also with us today we have Colonel J.D. Reyes from the JCOC. You'll be able to visit here a little bit later on today as well. We have a big show set up for you. First I want to start off with a little bit of bookkeeping. You got here the same time you left Germany. You just gained back an hour. So everybody understands that up front so that you show up for the later buses, everything on time, we're good to go. We have got a quick intel brief from OSI. Where is Agent? Let him come forward, Special Agent, cover that real quick, and I'll give you a quick intro of what we're doing today, and then we're going to cut you loose and let you see what the Air Force is all about. Scott?
I'm Special Agent Scott Lewin with the Air Force Office of Special Investigations. I'm going to give you a quick little threat awareness briefing, some things you should watch out for while you're here in the UK, and some prevention measures to take. And just for those of you who don't know, Office of Special Investigations for the Air Force, we're the investigative agency for the Air Force, basically investigating major crimes. In fact, in the Air Force, there's resources like major felony crimes, your rape, murder, arson, drug use and abuse, fraud, things like that. We also have a counterintelligence and counterterrorism mission, which I'm here to talk about today really briefly. What we do is go out and gather kind of threat information that has to do with the base and provide that information to the Colonel Callis and the wing commanders so they can provide ways to combat those threats. Right now, the Defense Intelligence Agency, they're who set threat levels for all the places in the world for us. Every country in the world. They assess the threat here in the UK to be significant. What that means is there are international terrorist groups present and members of them present here in the UK. They do use large casualty producing attacks as their method of operation. And the operational environment is kind of neutral right now here in the UK. For those who don't know, I'm sure you've all seen the news. On 7 July, we had our first international terrorist incident here in the UK in the London Underground. There was 3 simultaneous attacks down there. And then about an hour later, there was another attack on a bus where 50 people were killed, 700 people were injured. It was conducted by Muslim extremists, British-born citizens, or British citizens. And it was the first, like I said before, the first international attack they've had here. The Brits have been dealing with production of the Irish Republican Army over in North UK. Any type of targeting against specifically RAF Mildenhall or against this event, against the JCOC. That's what we do. We try to gather information about threats to this incident necessarily. But it does not mean you don't need to become complacent. You need to remain vigilant like we all do and make it happen anywhere at any time. I've got some information here for you, some handouts on our Eagle Eyes program I'd like to leave with you. And this is our anti-terrorism program here with the Air Force. And it talks about indicators in here of possible pre-attack planning by a terrorist organization. I'll leave you up here if you guys don't get any. But it talks about different things. Obviously, if any terrorist wants to conduct a successful attack, they're going to have to do some planning. There's some indicators in there. I won't go over all of them right now. There's also little cards in there you can tear out. Just the usual things, the things that have probably kept you from being a victim of crime this far in your life. Just continue to do those. You know, don't walk down the dark alley. Go out, good ATM security if you're going out to a cash machine, things like that. Don't be flashing your cash around. Don't make yourself a target, basically. But we're available for you. 24 hours a day, give us a call if you have anything, you see these indicators or anything else you want to report, let us know. But don't be afraid to call the British authorities. I mean, we all speak English. It might be British, but you know, all right? That's it. Anybody have any questions right now? All right, you guys enjoy your visit. Let's get some sunshine now.
Thank you for bringing it. Now, Agent Luina said you're not a target. I'll say yes, you are. You are a target today. We want to make sure that you enjoy the visit, all your questions are answered, and you have a good time. That's our 3 main points, because the Air Force, you have to have 3 main points in every discussion. Let me give you a quick rundown of what to expect today and what you're going to see. We're going to start out initially. We've got several static displays set out here at the airfield, as well as some tours. We're going to let you have some time until about 10 to 10 after 10 to walk through those. This area will stay open. You can come up and use the restrooms. And about 10:15, we're all going to adjourn to the balcony out here. We're going to have a little air power demo. You will require hearing protection for an air tower demo. I suspect you probably had hearing protection yesterday for a lot of the Army power demos as well. It's a military thing, I'm sorry. We're hosting you, but what we will be able to show you today is representative of what happens across the Air Force. It is very airplane-centric today, I will tell you, but the Air Force is deployed all over the world today in support of global war and terrorism, with our security forces, with our truck drivers, with our medics, and our flyers and maintainers. So I don't want you to walk away from thinking we're only airplanes. We are an entire footprint in the military. So the representative from the aircraft from USAFE, but here at Mildenhall you'll find out that we have USAFE, Air Combat Command, the U.S. Navy, the Special Operations Command, Air Mobility Command hosting us right here. This is one of the biggest 24/7 bases in the UK. Oh no, it's the only 24/7 base in the UK. And that's so that we can make sure that cargo that has to flow back and forth to support the commanders forward that are fighting the global war on terrorism can come through here whenever they get too busy in Germany, or when they have too much weather there and they need to overflow into us. When you're out there looking around, we'll make sure you're shepherded to stay in the safe areas of the ramp, because there's a lot of aircraft moving around out there. But if you look around, you'll see C-130s, C-17s, KC-10s, 135s, Special Operations 130s, helicopters, and some real fancy fighters that are tucked back here in the corner. The fighters are represented from Spangdahlem.
Great. How you doing? It's very dark in here.
Anybody not going to pin?
A what?
Anybody not going to pin?
I didn't.
Well, there you go. There you go, sir.
Hey, thank you very much.
Now, the box D.
Not for Duke University.
What is it now? It's our World War II tail flash. It's the way during World War II planes took off. Once they got in the air, they typically circle an airfield before going into Germany. They could form up.
Okay.
Well, don't take it the wrong way.
I got that on tape.
My name is Dennis. I'm going to take the D as meaning Dennis.
That it can mean Dennis today. Absolutely.
Where would you normally wear this?
Take that off for me.
We wear them just at functions when we're in civilian clothes, things like that. A lot of the British are big airplane people.
In your face.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Good to go.
We're good to go.
Have y'all ever been on a
American flag.
Peter, you good to go?
I'm good to go. Next, another cup of rye.
The bomber company, absolutely.
What was that?
Here, and
Are they full?
these aren't totally full, but we can take off full for sure. And I used to fly a C-5. It's a little newer than this airplane. And we used to take tours of Russian big Antonov 124s and Those have climate. Yes.
My dad was in World War II. Will he recognize this?
He very well might. Was he in the Army Air Corps? Or?
He was in the Air Force. He was a tail gunner.
He would definitely recognize it.
All right.
And the D stands for what?
George, I give you mine.
Nothing. It's just it happened to be the unit tail flash. Now the Bloody Hundredth, what we are, and that's the box D is affiliated with the Bloody Hundredth, took the most casualties of any bombing unit in World War II.
Okay.
That's where it got the nickname. So the D. Among World War II historical people, it's a big thing because we just happen to be the unit that took the greatest losses initially before fighter escorts started catching up with us and could protect us when we were heading into Germany.
Flying naked, right?
What's that? It's funny. I've been around a while though. Have you all seen the tail pod?
This is where my dad was a tail gunner. This is where he would have been. Wow, hey. Fancy meeting you down here.
Is he still around?
Yes, he's 86. And I'm going to see him after I leave here.
He'll be so thrilled with
Yes, he's going to be. I can't wait to show this to him. Yeah. It's kind of dark. I hope it comes out.
Yeah, probably will. Those things they gather so much light now that.
Now, it's just interesting for me to know that, I could picture him now doing this,
Who is it?
My father.
Well, I think my father was stationed here during World War II because he was in the Army Air Corps.
Is it ready? There we go. Now you're smiling too. That's better.
Full day.
Nice
If
camera.
you stayed in the air,
you.
you'd
George,
be
you
there.
need to
Go about
we can
halfway
act like
around the world.
Okay.
About 10,000
Take one more of this land and then we'll let you go. Okay.
Hang on a sec.
Don't hit your head.
No, we're not going to let her go yet because then I'm going to have to take her one with my camera.
If it doesn't happen, like maybe.
You have a lot of them. Why the KC? Why is that?
No, just why the designation KC?
K indicates airfield. You got that from? That's the
All right. Hello.
What kind of plane is this?
It's a fighter jet.
I guess it's some combination
I think that's him standing in front of the big plane.
Oh yeah, I got you. That looks good.
Northwest of Kuwait, but well inside the country of Iraq. This airfield has been subject of multiple reconnaissance missions using high-altitude photographic images from both satellites and unmanned aerial vehicles. Enemy activity and troop movements have been observed on the airfield to assess potential resistance. And suitability of the airfield target. You will notice that they are at picture-perfect wingtip formation with the AC-135 leading the formation. You have 15 on 16 on the right. Eagle is moved into pre-contact position just aft and below the tanker and is waiting to be cleared into the contact position. begin a climb up to 1,600 feet. Followed closely behind, 30 seconds later, will be the F-16s.
An enemy target in support of U.S. Army ground troops.
Rumble 123 NA 13 feet. Enemy gun truck active north of an east-west oriented runway. Charlie uniform 28320466. Friendlies are 800 meters to the north. No mark. Egress south of IP. No copy. Rumble 13 feet. Charlie uniform 28320466.
That'd be a little scary if you were on the ground.
He's afraid of heights, he can't come down and have
Somebody let it out that I was going to put him on the spot. So, anyway, just real quick, the Joint Analysis Center, we need to pass some information about security to you guys. Because of the sensitivity of the Joint Analysis Center, we cannot bring cameras, we cannot bring BlackBerries, cell phones, any electronic devices at all. We cannot bring, you can leave them on the bus, but you cannot bring them in. You can take notes, you can scribble, but that's it. No recording devices, no cameras. Did I miss anything, sir? Okay, great. The buses are downstairs. We're going to go down the stairs here. They're going to show you how to get out. We don't have the colors posted on the buses, so white and green.
Funny-looking arches.
No, that's not McDonald's.
No, it's not?
No, that's a sign for the services.
To know what it's really like being in the gorilla. I've heard of show and tell. This is show and do.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? We're the only ones awake on this whole bus. I'm hearing snoring. Yeah, this is what I want to do. See the sound effects. We're just getting the sound effects. So where do we get our keys? It's been a long day's night. Ooh, this is pretty.
Is it on your card?
You have to sign for the key?
It's $2.50.
No, it's been strengthened.
And then it strengthens again.
So it's as strong as it's same on millibar and same geographical spread.
I know.
So this means that, I guess.
You think it's done a pretty route?
It's down there.
Cuba, I doubt it because Cuba won't let us in.
You don't think they will?
It depends how bad it is.
Which wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, it would be a bad thing. Probably the opportunity to show the better part of America.
I've got a couple Cuban cigars in my door at home.
Yeah. Well, it's unbelievable to me how Mr. Castro has stayed in power. What cataclysmic changes I expect down there after that happens?
Well, I'll tell you, the Bruce Kern has been looking at that for a long time because they're worried about the mass exodus as soon as he dies because his son is even worse than he is. A lot of ships are.
What do you call this, a roundabout?
Yep, in the back.
These are all over the States.
Like Pentagon junk mail. It's like now they got Pentagon junk email going out.
That's just unbelievable to me. That whole thing. Why? Why would you do that? It's not pleasant.
See, that's the married ones, and they come home.
You're fine. I'm sorry, I'm walking into Florida.
Oh, I'm just teasing.
Has the funding for the Marine Corps vis-a-vis the other services increased?
Wow. Is this what they call the Italian Alps?
local time is 10:30 a.m. For safety and safety of those customers around you, please remain seated with the seatbelt securely fastened until you arrive at the gate and the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Also, we want to remind you that smoking is prohibited in this aircraft. Please open the overhead compartment slowly because some items do shift during the flight. Once again, on behalf of North American Airlines, we want to thank you for flying with us today. We'll be here tomorrow to pick you up back home. Enjoy your visit in Italy.
Give you all the information on the city of Naples. I was born and raised in the city, so I can give you all the information that you need, especially about history. From here we will start and drive towards the city center of Naples. On the left side you can see Mount Vesuvius, which is the volcano of the city of Naples. At our days it's dormant, but last eruption was in the 1944. Right now we're not so worried about, because for sure we know it's dormant, and at least 2 weeks before they will let us know if something happens. But the Neapolitans are not scared of the Vesuvius. We have over 3 million people living around the Vesuvius, and sometimes the houses are really close to the crater that you can see from here.
Where are we?
The city of Naples is a very important city. It was founded by the Greeks 2,800 years ago, basically. It was very important to have a city right here in the center of the Mediterranean, especially for the Greek. That I think we arrived close to the ship. Oh, pretty much it's a big city, so there is many. That's basically they mined out marbles and granite from the area. Mostly it's not marbles from the stairs, it's marbles to make the asphalt or the cement. They put the rocks inside the cement to reinforce, which is called calcestruzzo. That particular quality of cement was already invented by the Romans 1,000 years ago.
By the way, I had a question earlier about what the L stood for. I found out. The L actually does not stand for something that starts with L. It's actually for amphibious. Every ship in the Navy that starts with L is an amphibious. So it's an amphibious command and control ship for communication, and that's thus the LCC. So any ship you see with a designation that starts L starts with amphibious.
That makes too much sense for it.
Hello. Good morning to you.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Great to be here.
This way. We'll get you taken care of. Good morning. Welcome aboard.
These all the cute soldiers I get to hug eventually.
Hi again.
What's the name of the ship again?
USS Mount Whitney.
Mount Whitney.
It's been a while since I've been on Mount Whitney, so.
Hi, welcome aboard.
Good morning, ma'am. Hi. Very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Did you go out last night? I didn't either. Did you go to dinner? I didn't do that either.
You go to dinner?
I didn't. I had it in the room.
I know, I thought the same thing. I thought I screwed it up. It's no great thing. They're not going to pass it on to Afghan, so.
Matt Wheeler, and on behalf of our European Commander General Jones, our Commander of Naval Forces in Europe, Admiral Ulrich, who I believe you've just had an opportunity to meet, Vice Admiral John Stufflebeam, who is 6th Fleet Commander and representing the 6th Fleet in the CNE staff today, Rear Admiral D.C. Curtis. Welcome aboard the 6th Fleet flagship USS Mount Whitney. Who are we? We are a flagship that supports everything that goes on maritime in the Mediterranean Sea and, quite frankly, extending all the way down the coasts of Africa and up through to England and the Isles up that way. Not only are we a U.S. flagship, we're also the prime home for NATO forces, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, when they have a need to go to sea, and we're currently in direct support of the NATO Response Force for 2005. Who are we is also unique about Mount Whitney, something you need to be aware. As you look around and have an opportunity to meet my crew today, you're going to see two things. One, there's not a whole lot of them. We used to be manned at 625 personnel on board this ship. We're now a hybrid reduced manning test platform. My current manning is now 330. It's half of what it used to be. The reason we could do that, I'll go into in more detail later on today, but it basically comes down to mixing crews with U.S. Navy personnel and members of the Military Sealift Command Civilian Mariner Workforce. The Civilian Mariner Workforce brings a unique card to the table, and that is when they check aboard the ship, they're trained. They already know how to do the job. They just need a little bit of introduction about the ship. Therefore, there are not a lot of additional personnel that are also on board requiring that training. So I think you'll find that interesting as you go around.
So is your souls on board the same number, 623? Or
The question is, are the total number of souls on board of my crew the same? The answer is no. I'm 50% of what I used to be a year ago. And I can tell you that it is working. It's working to give a couple of items of safety concern. Go ahead.
Sir, can you get on deck to watch the
I want to see is us leaving out through the jetties and going out to sea, and you absolutely will be taking topside for that. Any other questions? Okay, Master Chief, I'm going to run. You take the show.
Master Chief of the Mount Whitney. That means I am the senior enlisted on board this ship. Surrounding the outside is some of my crew. They will be the tour guides with you the entire day, and I also have a concierge service made up from them. I will break down the tour guides here later. First thing, this is a ship that actually moves to the sea. So if you think you're going to get seasick or are concerned about it, we will make sure that you get the pills before you leave here. They're the little pink pills. They work wonders. Trust me, I use them. Second, the ship moves. This is not a cruise ship, but we are a very comfortable ship. So safety is a concern. If the deck is wet, you have to watch out. You will slip and slide. When we're up on the main deck, we have lifelines throughout the main deck. Do not lean on the lifelines. If by some chance they give, you're in the water, that means we gotta actually let the helo go and go after you. So for your safety, do not lean on the lifelines. As you're going up and down the stairs, which we call ladders, you must have at least one hand on it. Two is preferred. The reason being is if you slip, they're steep, they're narrow, and if you slip, you will end up on the bottom very, very quickly. If you watch my sailors, they will always have one hand control. I always have two hand. I'm old. If I fall, I might.
Gravy?
one breast. Well, no, you know what? I'm not going to do a breast.
Here, put that here.
You do the breast.
3 to 6, 7.
I want a wing. A little sampler. I want.
What are you making those big bats?
Say again?
What are you making those big bats?
A lot of things. Because we went from soup to they boil things in it.
Huge. They're huge.
Yes.
That's for 500 people on the ship?
In excess, we fed up to 850.
Hey, Georgia.
Everybody's waiting to eat.
We're hungry. everybody in Ron's family.
Just clowning around.
I'm coming. I can get in that seat.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is fabulous.
There's a handle right there, sir. Watch your
Watch
head on
your
the
head.
throttles. Handle right there, and then you can step out to here.
Okay. I got you.
All right.
That's all right.
All right.
Guess I'm not as old as I thought I was. This is a piece of equipment here.
What's this car called?
You
Remember?
can stand on a seat.
So Sea King?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, we're not done, Sarah.
All right.
Hey, there he is. 1, 2, 3.
Coming back up. Right now,
Did you want me to take a picture from right here? Turn this out.
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you want to get in there also?
I do.
All right.
All right. How do you do this? You just press that button like that and you take off?
All right. Awesome.
One side, there's a grotto in the center. It's like it kind of opens and it's like a safe harbor almost. Like a U cut into the island. You can just zip right in.
This is someplace I should grab a blanket and say,
I will tell you that it's probably the second most